You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey there, welcome to episode 291 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Sean Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hey everybody, back at you with another exciting episode. It's Sean, as always. And this week, we have a special returning guest. It's our good friend,
Leah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
So this week, we decided we're going to talk about Disney.
Oh, my favorite topic.
Right. That's why we're going to talk about it this week, because you know all about it. I know very little.
Okay.
And you are an authorized Disney travel agent?
Yeah, we call ourselves authorized Disney planners.
Okay.
Yeah. That title is actually reserved for people who are a part of a company that is what is called earmarked by Disney. So currently I don't work for one of those companies, but I have in the past. So I am certified by Disney to sell Disney and Disney vacations.
So you're like an independent broker now?
I am. Yeah, I kind of work for myself. I work from home, and I do have what is called a host agency, but I pretty much work on my own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you get involved in all this to begin with?
Well, the reason I got into it is because I love Disney and I love Disney vacations. And I could probably do an hour episode or maybe more on Disney vacations, but this is not that long of a show.
No,
So,
we'll just do a quick,
yes.
like a primer.
Yes. We'll give you the Coles notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my good buddy Renee, he and his family have been going to Disney for, 15, 20 years.
Okay.
They usually take a trip once a year. I think they've done 2 in 1 year. They've gone to Disney World. They've gone to Disneyland. I believe they've taken Disney cruises. Mm-hmm. And he always talks about it. And he always looks like he's having so much fun. And he's always doing the countdown. Oh, just another 2 weeks till Disney or whatever.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I've never gone.
I know exactly how he feels because I do that too. And even with my clients, I do that because I am so excited for them. It's almost as if I'm planning my own trip. So that's probably one of the biggest things I love about planning Disney is I'm so excited and I'm excited for my clients to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they can probably feel that.
They can, yes. Sometimes I think I get a little too excited because I do have to pace myself. We first off, of course, we book your accommodations, and then we have a certain window of when we have to book your experiences. So at first we book your hotel and your tickets and get your park reservations, and then everything comes sort of 60 days or 30 days, depending on whether you're staying on property or not. That's when those experiences come. So sometimes there's a lull between because a lot of people plan a year in advance.
Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment or so. Disneyland,
Yes.
Disney World, and Disney Cruises. Are those the 3 main things?
Yes, those are the main areas. There's also Aulani in Hawaii, which is on the beautiful Ko Olina island in Hawaii. So Disney does have a resort in Hawaii. It's a hotel and spa, and they have a luau and that type of thing. So a lot of people also will enjoy those.
But no rides or roller coasters. Okay.
Not really, no.
It's more of an adult resort?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Well, that's cool. Okay, so Florida has Disney
World.
And California has Disneyland.
Land. I actually call it Walt's Original Disney because it was Walt's Original Disney. That's where Walt had his start, and he never actually saw Walt Disney World in Florida open. He died before it opened, so it was his brother Roy who opened Walt Disney World in Florida.
Okay, and Disneyland is what he opened in Anaheim?
Anaheim, California.
Right. Okay. And that was opened in 1955?
That's correct.
Right, okay,
Yes.
okay. See, I know a few things.
You know your Disney a
A
little.
little bit.
A little.
little bit. So really, what's your favorite part?
Of which one?
Yeah, for real. I don't know.
Well,
Like, okay, where have you been? What have you done?
so I have been to Walt's original Disneyland. I have been to Walt Disney World in Florida a couple of times, and I have also been on a few Disney cruises.
Have you gone to the Hawaii thing?
I have not. That is one place where I do want to go.
Ah, okay.
That's definitely a future plan.
And as a travel agent,
Mm-hmm.
you've gone to these places so you can give your clients a bit of foreknowledge.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially with Disney, it changes quite a bit. It does require a little bit more planning. A lot of people, when you're on vacation, you really don't want to do a whole lot. You don't want to get up and make a park reservation. You don't want to be worrying about a dining reservation or how can I get on this particular ride or when is the best time to go. And that's sort of my job.
Ah,
So let's start with Walt's original Disney. What is my favorite part about Disneyland?
Yeah.
I can honestly say there are two things that are my favorite parts about Walt's original Disney. And that's you really do see Walt reflected in the parks. And I'll explain that in a moment. And then also you get to see things in California that you cannot see in Florida. So, for instance, the Cars Land is located only in Walt's original Disneyland, California. And also, Walt's original creation, Oswald, is only available to be seen in Disneyland.
now that's a rabbit.
Yes.
Tell us about Oswald. He was before Mickey?
Yes. So, a lot of people think it all started with a mouse. It actually all started with a rabbit. So, a long time ago, Walt Disney was actually producing films and animated creations for Universal. So, when they were contracted to do these things, the patents for all of their characters were unfortunately not Walt's. They belonged to the company he was creating them for.
Of course.
So when Universal said, we don't need you anymore, we've learned how to create our own movies, Walt thought he would take Oswald the Lucky Rabbit with him. And unfortunately, no, that was not the case. So he lost his very first creation, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So then he was inspired and eventually created Mickey Mouse. And that's where everything went for Walt. So that is who Oswald is.
Okay. And Mickey was actually first Steamboat Willie?
Yes, that was probably the most iconic and the first ever standalone Walt's creation.
And Willie transmorphed into Mickey.
Absolutely, yes.
It's
So
the same character.
yes, they are the same characters. Steamboat Willie was a animated short that was created by Walt and company when he first started out. So Steamboat Willie is just another character that Mickey portrayed.
Okay. Okay. So, you can actually see Oswald in California.
Yes, you can meet him. My son actually has photos of himself with Oswald. He does have a gas station located, I believe it's in California Adventure. And you can go and he makes appearances and you can meet him.
And how did Disney get him back?
So it was actually a trade deal. Universal wanted one of the hosts of ESPN, and they wanted to sort of contract him to work for them. And so Disney Animation Studios said, well, you have our first creation. We're willing to trade. So they managed to get Walt's first creation back for him.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Walt was live to see it?
He was not.
Oh.
No. Walt passed away years and years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, can't have everything when you're alive, I guess.
That's right.
Okay. Well, before we talk any more, let's play a promo for another podcast right here on the ESO Network.
What are people saying after 5 years of Thunder Talk?
It's offensive and unrelatable.
If I had a nickel for every episode Thunder Talks published in 5 years, I'd maybe have $3.
I'm terrified of their woke agenda.
Their unconventional opinions makes me want to watch sports.
I'm down with it because Mark gets to cuss.
The music is mad cool.
And we have great guests.
I suppose it's not all bad.
Thunder Talk is proudly tolerated by the ESO Network.
Wasn't that a great promo?
Excellent. Love it.
Don't you just want to go download all those episodes of that podcast?
I do, and I hope everyone listening does.
Of course, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so I want to go on a Disney vacation. What do you recommend?
Well, I would first start off with a bunch of questions that you probably didn't really even think to know. So, are you taking children with you?
Let's say I'm not.
Okay. Do you want to stay on property or off property?
What's the difference?
So the difference is, of course, the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, of course, is larger. They have 4 parks. They have all kinds of on-site hotels. And, these are properties that are owned by Disney and ran by Disney. There are advantages to staying on property. Some of them, of course, being the Disney dining plans, which are making a return next year, which is very awesome. So happy to hear that the dining plan is returning. Also, you have transportation. So your transportation to and from parks, water parks, and other hotels, of course, are complimentary from Disney. So those are just a couple of the perks that you do enjoy staying on Disney property.
Well, what if I wanted to stay off property?
Well, if you wanted to stay off property, I would certainly want to know exactly what else you plan on doing while you're in Orlando, because as you know, Walt Disney World Resort in Florida is located in Orlando, and there's a lot of other things to do in Orlando as well. So there are some offsite property hotels that do have shuttles, and I would definitely recommend staying at one of those. Having a free shuttle to any parks that you're going to go visit is definitely a plus.
Because then you don't have to arrange your own transportation.
That's right, because I can say transportation in Florida can get quite pricey.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Now, if I'm on site on Disney property, there goes a motorcycle. Okay, bye. So that's probably not a piece of transportation you can get on a resort.
Probably not a good idea, no.
No, okay.
No.
So is it more expensive to stay on resort?
Well, again, you have to weigh the costs a little bit, because what you're going to pay for transportation is definitely going to outweigh the costs that maybe you're going to spend a little bit more on property. So there is actually some different levels of properties as well.
Okay.
So there are value resorts where, they're a little more on the cost-effective side. You get the basics. And then you have the moderate resorts.
Okay.
And then you have your deluxe resorts that are very bougie, and you get
fancy.
all of, yes, very, very fancy. You get all of the amenities and the VIP treatment. And then, of course, they have deluxe villas as well.
Okay. Okay, so that's one question you would ask if
Yeah.
I want to stay on site or off site.
Yes.
What other things would you need to know if I'm planning this vacation?
If you're planning a vacation, I would definitely want to know what time of the year you're going to go.
Okay, and do prices change depending on the time of year?
They do, yes. They vary throughout different times of the year, different more busier times and less busier times.
And it's open all year round?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes. 365 days a year.
Well.
Yeah. There are different seasons as well. So if you're going during spring, Epcot has the Flower and Garden Festival. They have a wine festival. They have all kinds of different events going on pretty much year round. There's the Mickey's Not So Scary. There is Mickey's After Hours Christmas Party. So there's all kinds of parties going on. And speaking of after hours parties, by the way, they've started doing more after hours parties, because I think they're finding a lot of the adults who are not coming really during the day, a lot more families during the day. A lot of the adults are staying later for the after hours parties, and they're becoming a lot more popular.
And these parties are like dance parties, or it's just you're on the rides without kids?
So you're on the rides a little bit later. There are children there, but probably not as many. Of course, there's a limited number of tickets sold. And sometimes, depending on what it is, there could be at Halloween, there's trick-or-treating. At Christmas time, the Magic Kingdom comes alive, and they literally change overnight to all of the Christmas decor, and it is so beautiful. Anybody who has the opportunity to go from that period just at the end of October, and it literally changes overnight to Christmas the next day on November 1st, and you get to experience that magic.
That sounds exciting.
Very exciting.
Okay, so let's say I'm going to stay on resort and I'm going in the fall.
Okay.
What else do you need to know?
How many people are going?
Okay, let's say just 2.
2 people. Okay. So I would want to know, of course, are you looking for what kind of budget do you have? So are you looking for a more value resort? Are you looking for something a little more moderate where there's less children? Although I can say that all kinds of resorts have all kinds of age groups, and there's pools and all kinds of amenities for you to enjoy.
So lots to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to stay on resort, 2 people, in the fall, moderate price value.
Okay.
Let's go in the middle.
Okay, so we're looking, so more in the middle. There's a couple of options. There is the Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter. I really enjoy both of these resorts. The French Quarter is a little smaller, but there is a water taxi to Disney Springs. So Disney Springs is the restaurant and entertainment area and all kinds of shopping there. It is free to attend, so you can go at any time. You don't need a park reservation or ticket. And all the shops and all of the food is absolutely wonderful. They have my favorite restaurant to go for lunch, which is the Earl of Sandwich. It's great. I totally recommend anybody on a budget to go. And then, of course, all the shopping, the World of Disney store, Amorette's, where they have wonderful cakes and pastries.
Sounds yummy.
It's very delicious. And, of course, there are some outlet stores as well.
So lots to do.
Lots to do. So I totally recommend Port Orleans as probably one of my more favorite moderate resort.
And you've been there?
I have been there. We actually got a royal room at Port Orleans, Riverside, and our room was decked out in more royal colors. So there were purples. It was themed more to Aladdin. We had the magic carpet on the floor. We had very comfortable beds, and we walked out of our room, and there was a pool right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And there were multiple stops around the resort to get onto the transportation, so it was very easy to find a bus stop.
Oh, very, very good. Very good. Okay, so as a person who has not done this before, what kinds of things should I prepare myself for mentally?
Lots of walking. Lots of walking. Although I do also want to say that for myself and a lot of people that I've spoken to have experienced, the moment you walk through those gates at Magic Kingdom and you look up and you see Cinderella's castle at the end of Main Street, you cannot help but be happy.
Like your mood just automatically changes.
Automatically.
Makes you feel like a kid?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Just happy and content, and you're in a safe place where you can be a kid again.
Well, it sounds wonderful. Are there any drawbacks that you can think of?
Drawbacks. Wow. It is extremely hot. It can get extremely hot.
Okay.
So I always recommend that you bring some sort of cold beverage.
Okay.
Staying on resort as well, you have the option of a refillable mug. If you get the dining plan, you get this included, but there's a refillable mug that you can get sodas, fountain drinks at your resort, and you just refill your mug whenever you go. So that's definitely a plus to that. And there's also a Coca-Cola store in Disney Springs that'll also allow you to refill your mugs.
Oh, very good. It's like you pay for the mug and then it's refillable.
Yes.
Unlimited.
Yes,
Okay.
unlimited.
I think Cedar Point had something similar to that when I was there.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you do go, I would totally recommend going to the Coca-Cola store and doing the Beverly Challenge. And if anybody out there knows what the Beverly Challenge is, and if you're curious as to what the Beverly Challenge is, I really suggest you go to YouTube and find out.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
It is very intriguing.
You're not going to tell us now.
I think everyone should go to YouTube.
For the Beverly Challenge.
The Beverly Challenge, yes.
Okay. I'm intrigued. I'll have to go check that out after.
Absolutely. Please
Yes.
do.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay.
Other things definitely to watch out for. Lots of sunscreen,
Oh,
of
yes.
course.
Yeah.
Bring a hat. And I always suggest a backpack.
A backpack. You said.
Yes. Yeah. If you buy those souvenirs, it's definitely good to have a backpack to put them into.
Doesn't that interfere with sitting on the rides?
Not really. Most rides, you are able to bring your backpack on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Disney is very good at moving people. They have queue lines and instructions everywhere on where to go and how to get on a ride. And then when you come off, of course, you end up in a souvenir shop.
Of course.
Of course.
After every ride, you were saying.
Every ride.
You get off the ride and there's something to buy.
That's right.
Okay. So Disney knows how to part you with your money.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Anything else we should know or...
Well, if you're looking for something a little more leisurely, I would suggest Walt's Original Disney in Disneyland, California. They really don't cater to tourists. There is, of course, transportation. There's only 2 parks there versus the 4 in Florida. So you really do have to sort of wonder what it is you're going for. Is there a particular character you'd like to see maybe, or something you'd like to experience? The Matterhorn bobsleds, for instance, are only located in Disneyland, California.
Okay.
But you will find Expedition Everest in Animal Kingdom in Florida.
So Florida has more fun things to do and more variety.
I would say it has more of a variety, but you're not going to see the same things in California.
Okay.
So...
All right.
I do find personally the Pirates of the Caribbean ride was much better in Disneyland, California.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. What if I wanted to just go on a cruise?
Well,
What's that about? Are there rides?
There's one.
Does the boat have a roller coaster on it?
they have an aqueduct, they call,
Oh.
where it is, in fact, a roller coaster water slide.
Oh, neat.
And I know you like water slides.
I do.
Yes.
Yes.
Disney Cruise Line, a lot more people are finding this to be a more affordable vacation.
Oh.
Because when you book a Disney cruise, you get your room, you get your entertainment, and you get your food all included.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Disney has their awesome entertainment. Their shows are absolutely Broadway quality. Wonderful. Some of the best theater productions I've seen were on Disney cruises, and they were original Disney productions.
Oh, wow. Good to know.
Absolutely. The food is fantastic.
Yes.
And what I like most that sets Disney apart from other cruise lines is that other cruise lines, you are assigned a dining room and you go into that dining room every night for dinner.
Okay.
On a Disney cruise, you actually get to rotate throughout all of the dining rooms that they have.
Aha.
So, and the best part about it is your dining crew goes with you. So your waiter, your maitre d', all these people who know what you like go with you to your next restaurant.
Well, isn't that interesting?
So if, for instance, say you like Sprite with your dinner, and they've noticed that every night Sean has a Sprite with his dinner, you could walk into your table and there'll be a Sprite sitting there waiting for you because your team knows that you like your Sprite.
Well, that's convenient.
Isn't it?
Huh.
Yes.
Okay, so a cruise.
Definitely.
Does sound fun.
Disney also owns now 2 islands in the Bahamas. They just started sailings to their newest island called Lighthouse Bay. And I've never been yet, but I have been to their private island, Castaway Cay. And Castaway, I think some people say Castaway Key, some people say Castaway Cay. I say Castaway Cay. It is only 80% is untouched. 20% is, of course, developed, and there's all kinds of Disney stuff to do. So there's snorkeling. You can just sit on the beach and relax. They do a shore lunch for you. So any food that you have on Castaway Cay is off of the ship, and it's included with your price.
Very nice. So if you're going to book a Disney vacation of any kind, there's all kinds of varieties and options.
Absolutely. Just let me know what you're looking for.
Sounds good. Hey, if our listeners wanted to book a a Disney cruise or a vacation, could they do it with you?
Absolutely.
Do you have a
they can.
website?
I do. It's freetotravel.centerholidays.com.
freetotravel.centerholidays.com.
Yes.
Center with an R-E or an E-R?
R-E.
R-E.
Or they can also email me.
Okay.
Leah Frost, so LEAHFROST @centerholidays.com.
Very good. Okay, that's all good to know.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to book one with you because I've never been anywhere.
I think you'll have a blast.
It sounds like I will.
Yes.
All right. Well, is there anything else we should know before we wrap this up?
No. Anybody interested, just shoot me an email.
Sounds good. You hear that, listeners? If you want a Disney vacation, talk to Leah. She knows her stuff. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that primer on Disney vacations. I know I learned a lot. I hope you all did too out there in podcast land. I hope you take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, the value of time increases as the remaining time decreases. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Soul Forge podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links. And don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Soul Forge podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.